Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Trading Bitcoin with your host Tone Vase and co-host Willy Woon Venzen. This might be our last video. This is it's around 11 a.m. here in Phangon. I can never pronounce this name
You
right.
said it right.
I finally said it right. And we're gonna finally go off the complex. We are at a place known as Utopia, which has been taken over and bought by crypto people. Lots of people working all day on their crypto project. We're gonna go have some fun. We're gonna go check out the island. We're gonna try to swing by the full moon party, which was supposed to be last night, but because of a national holiday, got moved to tonight. Swing by, check that out, and tomorrow we're gonna be on Koh Samui.
Koh Samui.
One day, and then I'm off to India. All right, we don't really have a plan today. We can let's take some questions from the audience. We will take a look at the charts in a bit. Let's see what you guys got. All right. Has anyone seen Google's response to Vitalik? That's a good question. Let's go and take a look at that. Willie, I don't know if you've seen this.
I have not.
Let's
check it out. It's really
check
interesting.
this out. But we don't think it's real. So here. So here's what we're talking about. Wait, let me move this out of the way. Stick this in here. And let's refresh for the audience. Is my internet down? It was fine. I checked the bandwidth.
It's
Oh, what's going on? It was fine earlier. I checked that.
like
good
we
bandwidth.
looked at it
on
5 minutes
of
ago,
its
right?
range, eh?
No, but I checked. It was fine. So is anybody even getting anything right now?
I've got price ticking, but let me close some tabs.
It might be on the edge of your.
No, but I checked it earlier and it was fine.
Yeah.
You want to perhaps move your laptop
Sometimes
just a
it
little
could
bit?
be me, you know, like because
Your body
the
right
body
there.
water is blocking the Wi-Fi signal. So I'm getting reception.
I was getting really fast bandwidth. A little like.
Well, if I
before
move here,
started.
see if it picks up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. It was probably coming across around you, and I'm blocking it. It's on the edge.
Oh shit. Still not good though.
Yeah, and the stream, I don't know if it's dropping in or out.
The way to do it is we have to switch around so the Wi-Fi is direct line of sight, be in the bar.
Or put your
I don't think
laptop
I
up.
find
in
it.
the background. Can they hear us still?
I don't know.
That's fine. I can sit aside. But yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's when I moved my laptop first. There we got the picture.
We got the pictures. Check this out. So apparently, Google Keyboard
Yes,
on your
I saw
telephone
that.
added the D signal. So this is what. So I think this is fake. So here apparently Vitalik texted at Google saying, "Hey Google, I was made aware that Google Keyboard now natively supports the Bitcoin D icon input. I would like to discuss with you regarding the possibility to add an Ethereum icon native to your next keyboard iteration. Please DM me, Vitalik Buterin." And Google replies, "Vitalik Buterin, thank you for your interest regarding our keyboard product. Regretfully have to inform you that Google will not add any other crypto icons to the keyboard besides Bitcoin because we believe everything else is legally questionable and long-term not viable." While that is the correct response, I don't think this is real. I was not able to find, no one is providing a link to this interaction. No one is providing a link to the tweet. And I tried searching Vitalik's replies. I didn't search for Google's replies. I think this is just Photoshop, but it is funny. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the blogosphere.
Yeah, but it's, unless
See
someone
if anyone's got a link.
provides a link or a link to the archive, it's fake.
Yeah, it's fake.
I'm 99% sure it's fake. Like, guys, almost everything in the space is fake, including Ethereum's viable future, but assume that everything is bullshit. So, Willie, people want to know about your historical volatility rank of Bitcoin. I'm actually not sure what that means. Maybe you do.
Historical volatility. Was that the one I tweeted a while back? It was just the volatility of oh wait, historical. What was it? Historical rank
Historical volatility rank.
of Bitcoin. What do you want me to say about it?
I don't know.
Okay, so like we can like run volatility across all like whatever 1,500 coins, 1,500 coins in the marketplace, probably a bit less now. And then you look for the lowest volatility, right? Turns out lowest volatility is not Bitcoin, it is Tether.
Right,
and there were
yeah.
a few outliers, but pretty much Bitcoin is the lowest volatility by far. And I don't know, it's on a tweet. But you know, volatility is very important for a coin if you want to have it to be meaningful as a store of value. You don't, you know, like if you're going to invest in a coin or a digital asset, or any kind of asset, you're okay with investing in very high volatility assets if you're holding for a long time, which is Bitcoin, right? So if you're going to hold Bitcoin, you don't want to hold it for less than one full cycle, ideally. That's kind of like 4 years, because then you're guaranteed that you're going to get the next 50x and you might get a 10x down, but you're still good with the 5x, even if you don't know what you're doing. And you'll find that like as the volatility drops, it acts better as a place to put your money in. You wouldn't invest in a house for 1 month and then sell out, right? But you wouldn't put your money in cash because that's very, very stable. So volatility is a really good ranking of where do you want to put your money for how long.
Sure. It's like the I guess if we're going to transpose from volatility to store of value, in a sense you want the volatility because it's going to push the asset to a multiplier where you're getting a profit on it, right? So for instance, gold since 2000 rising up to $1,900 by 2011, that was a good store of value during that time. Even during the 1990s to 2000, gold was kind of holding $200. It was a good store of value compared to many other things that lost value. Do you see the two kind of scenarios I'm giving?
Yeah,
one is making profit, the other one's holding value level. Right?
There's this concept that people think that volatility has to increase for like moonage, right? Like
Yeah.
Bitcoin does this huge rise, but when you get down to the calculations, how it's done, when you get a rise that's smooth going up, 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 it's actually quite low volatility. It's when you go up in this way, the downs add huge amounts of volatility. And so it's often a trap. People think that Bitcoin needs to be volatile because it's gaining so quickly. But we've got charts, so we can pull it up.
I
move on to the next question.
No, I think I'm going to move on to the next question.
All right.
Okay, so there's a really good question that we're going to look at from Brian. Thank you for your donation. But before we get to that question, I haven't addressed this yet at all. So let's address it together because everyone seems to have a lot of questions about this. Let me go back to screen share. What am I screen sharing? I'm not screen share this. So again, let's go to another Twitter profile, and you guys are gonna see where I'm going. God, I forget the bandwidth. So, and that is of course Richard Hart's scam coin, Bitcoin Hex.
I don't follow him. Yeah.
So Richard Hart is issuing Bitcoin Hex. So it's another fork of Bitcoin. So it's really like Bcash, basically, like Bcash, like Bgold, Bitcoin Private.
Oh, right. Innovating with six-sided instead of a circle.
Sure. And again, he's given her, obviously, there is a, let me see here. I haven't read any of this. Let's go through it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Richard Hart earned a reputation. I guess people like to listen to his opinions, but it looks like everything has been an affinity scam. Basically, you become popular in order to then scam with the scam coin. Bitcoin Hex is the first high interest saving account on the blockchain. There's more to finance than currency, yada, yada, yada. CDs, time deposits, yeah. Bitcoin Hex store, some kind of a store of value. 369% plus return on equity if only 1% of coins stake. Don't know how you can guarantee.
Yeah.
Is this like a staking coin? Is that all he's done?
Let's find out. Bitcoin Hex is the first certificate of deposit on the blockchain trustless interest. So you earn trustless interest. Pays holders instead of miners. So it sounds like proof of stake. No Satoshi. If he doesn't claim in 50 weeks, or Mt. Gox dumping on you. So it sounds like if you don't convert your Bitcoin to Bitcoin Hex, they will be deactivated basically. So you have a limited, sounds like you have a limited time to get your Bitcoin Hex. So there'll be less Bitcoin Hex than there is Bitcoin. No inflation bug like Bitcoin has had. He can't prove that until by higher transactions per second. Again, yeah, I mean, if you don't have proof of work, then you can do whatever you want to a centralized blockchain. You're not even a blockchain. What am I saying? More distributed. That is a lie. It can't possibly be more distributed. Whale penalty. Again, I don't know how you can enforce that, which gives whales coins to stakers. Unenforceable. Dishonest stakers that end stake early or late pay honest stakers. Again, not enforceable. Longer stake commit pays 20% more per year. Partial year. Open source. I highly doubt that, but we'll find out. No pre-mine, no ICO. Well, right, because you're forking off of Bitcoin. Lower fees, lower inflation. But if it's proof of stake, it's infinite inflation, right? So again, referral program sounds like an MLM Ponzi scheme. Founder is a marketing expert. That's certainly true. Early adopters get paid extremely well. Absolutely true. 20% speed bonus, falling to 0%. I don't know what that means. Unclaimed coins paid to stakers 2% per week for 50 weeks. Right, so Satoshi's coins get redistributed as Bitcoin Hex. Every week you don't claim, someone else gets your coins. That's beautiful socialism. Absolutely. So everything is. It sounds like everything is built.
Creepy.
Sounds like things are being built on the premise of taking from the rich and giving to the poor. So I don't understand how this is going to be, more freedom. Saving. This coin seems to promote saving, but at the same time, it's penalizing saving because if you are taking your time converting, you will have no coins to convert. The inflation is also delayed because it's only paid on ended stakes. It just sounds like an unreasonably complicated scam. So, he's got an inflation schedule.
It's like all things.
There's a return on investment.
I mean, like the moment
you guaranteed a return on investment.
The moment you guarantee a return on investment that is greater than 3-4%, you are automatically running a scam. This is just bad. I mean, yes, you don't have to pay into it. You just have to pull your Bitcoin Hex out of your Bitcoin, and then you scam everybody else that buys it from you later or buys it into you later.
Guys, look, two to 30 times coins.
Like, look, if you want to scam others, please pull out the Bitcoin Hex from Bitcoin. Remember, I mean, this is like clear as day to me that sure, he's not selling you anything. He probably has a decent chunk of he still has a decent chunk of Bitcoin. But here's what he did, right? Let's just say this is bad. I'm not a fan of Richard Hart. And basically, so I don't care who I piss off. Here's how the scam works, okay? So I don't know how much Bitcoin Richard Hart has. He may have a lot. He may have a little. It doesn't matter. The point is, he set up a structure to give himself the maximum number of Bitcoin hacks from the number of Bitcoin he currently has. So everything is built upon taking the Bitcoin hack from Bitcoin that will not be redeemed into Bitcoin hacks. Like, I'm not going to redeem my Bitcoin for Bitcoin hacks. Willy, I don't know if Willy's going to do it.
The reality is, you weren't saying it's free. It's not free. You got to take your time. How much is your time worth?
Right. The reality is this, right? I am definitely not going to do it. I don't know about other people.
I'm not going to do it.
Let's assume Willy's not going to do it. Let's assume Venzen's not going to do it. Let's assume Jimmy Song's not going to do it. Certainly, like Gregory Maxwell's not going to do it, and like some of the other old school Bitcoiners that have a good chunk of Bitcoin. So because the old school Bitcoiners that have a large chunk of Bitcoin, Satoshi's not going to do it, I can guarantee you that, right? So what Richard Hart has done is he found a schemy way. He found a schemy way to. He's going to be the first guy in, right? We know for a fact he's going to be the first guy to get some amount of Bitcoin hacks because he has some amount of Bitcoin, and he has designed a system that would pay Satoshi's Bitcoin converted to Bitcoin hacks to the earliest people in the system, which is him.
He's number one, right?
Guess who's going to dump it and then buy Bitcoin with it?
Right. So all he has done is convinced himself and his cult-like followers to get into this thing early, because he will confiscate Satoshi's Bitcoin hacks. He will confiscate, Roger Vere's Bitcoin hacks, unless Roger Ver gets in on this. Like, who else has a lot of Bitcoin that we know of? Oh, I'm pretty sure Mike Novogratz and Tim Draper aren't going to be moving their Bitcoin within their fund into Bitcoin hacks, right? So he's basically found a way to take Tim Draper's, or Coinbase cold storage Bitcoin, right, into Bitcoin hacks, and he's given it to himself.
It's quite clever. I'll give it that. Yeah.
So that's all he's done. He's given it to himself and the other early adopters. Now, sure, is there money to be made? Because as he explains, he is, and I want to quote it correctly,
weeks.
When the day comes, is he gonna go to jail, or is
can't go to jail?
Oh, yeah.
So
also recorded locally, I think.
It's almost too late to record locally, but
let's continue.
All right, I'm gonna start recording locally, but like I think I'm not gonna be able to repeat what I said. So people are like, well, I'm not a cult follower, but I like free shit. There's no such thing as free shit, right? I mean, you pay for it one way or another, right? It's free to you. You're scamming. I mean, like, if you understand this is immoral, then you are just scamming the next person that is less sophisticated than you are, right? Yeah. And I don't like to be a part of that, but everyone is, everyone
Cool.
is free to make their own decisions.
Well, here's the thing: is that if the scam actually becomes the new world reserve currency, it's no longer a scam, right? Everyone wins. But if it doesn't become the
Well,
new
it
world
doesn't.
reserve,
It's not going to become it because it's going to be way more centralized, and like 3 people are going to
this is
own
right.
80% of the coins.
Let's say on the off chance, the tiny chance it doesn't become the world reserve currency. The thing is, everyone on the tail end loses, so everyone's participating in helping other people lose money.
Yeah. So basically, you're basically just going to be diluting future people that could potentially help Bitcoin's adoption. Like all of these things dilute the Bitcoin brand, and it makes Bitcoin itself scammy, right? So the more people participate in things like Bitcoin hacks, the longer the Bitcoin bear market's going to last, and the bigger the challenge it will be to deal with regulators. Like, so basically in the future, when the government sends their goon squad with guns to arrest you for using Bitcoin, the people that you should be blaming is people like Richard Hart for creating outright scams with the Bitcoin logo.
That's right. This whole thing is an amateur. It's even an amateur scam, and it's catching people with lack of insight or good scruples in their head.
Right.
And has he said anything about the mining algorithm yet? Because
there isn't one. It's proof of stake.
It's proof of stake.
It is 100% proof of stake. There's no proof of work.
Before he was trying that old chestnut about Bitcoin's proof of work is wasteful.
Oh, this is what this is, right.
And causing global warming.
Right.
So then he was saying we've got to put the energy into fluid dynamics modeling, which is what a bullshit, man.
Right. So basically, you continue the rumor that Bitcoin's proof of work is bad for the environment in order to be the first guy into a proof of stake and taking Satoshi's coins and Tim Draper's coins and Mike Novograt's coins and anyone else that is holding them in deep cold storage. BitMax's 20,000 Bitcoin in their insurance fund.
Trace Mayer's Bitcoin.
Right, Trace Mayer's Bitcoin. Right. You convert them all to Bitcoin hacks because assuming they're not going to participate in your scam, and then you give them all to yourself and as an expert marketer with a following. And I apologize to all my followers for ever having Richard Hart back on the World Crypto Network and on my channel, giving him more exposure, giving him, a bigger voice, giving him a bigger following, so he can then go and screw basically everybody in the world of Bitcoin by creating another fake Bitcoin for him to get rich.
Yeah, it's just a joke, and it's an insult to us, and it's not free. It's not a free experiment because we're going to end up paying for it, Tone. Just like you said, you end up paying later. The entire community pays for these rubbishes, right?
Right.
This is a very big thing. Like, I've never heard of it.
So. No,
we shouldn't really be promoting
this.
It's
going to be something stupid next.
Yeah. All right. Now we get to a real question. But man, sorry. I'm recording it locally now. Let's see how that works. Yeah. So we went for the recording, in case I put the recording up. So we went through the entire description and we explained how scammy this project actually is. I mean, if I was a regulator, I would, immediately go, you're guaranteeing a 369% return. Yeah, that's not going to fly.
Yeah.
Hey, but good luck to you guys.
Can they hear us? Someone just said there's no conversation.
Some fool's going to fall for it, right?
What are they saying? Live stream's horrible. Yeah. I had decent. Let me check my.
What's your 3G like?
Yeah, let me check my my phone. Maybe I can tether.
It's probably distance to the co-working.
Yeah.
No, but I checked this morning. I had like.
Sun's out too. That impacts it.
I had like 10 on the down and like 12 on the up. So I'm like, man, that's. Oh wait. Yeah, like I'm checking my phone right now. I'm connected to the same Wi-Fi. I'm getting 2 megs on the down, and I'm getting very little on the up.
Well, the chat's still flowing. Let's see what's there.
Let me
turn this and have a look.
Yeah.
I can see. You carry on there.
Yeah, let me check my SIM card.
Bitcoin Motorist says the audio is good.
Audio, yeah, but we need the video as well.
Yeah.
We're on an island in Thailand.
The Wizard of Do It Land asks, who of the three of us is most bullish about Bitcoin?
What time frame?
Yeah, I think let's
Probably you.
Long time frame wise, I think I am, eh?
I think long term, all of us are bullish. I don't see Bitcoin is not a race to zero; it's a race to infinity.
Man, so here's my sim.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's better. The upload is low.
Download, upload.
Yeah. So Wizard of Duitland. If we're talking long term, Bitcoin is a race to an infinite amount of fiat in terms of its potential price. Something like Ethereum and Tron and whatnot will eventually go to zero. So they're on a
you have to
long-term
explain
trajectory
infinity.
to zero.
You have to explain infinity.
Well, let's say let's say $1 million is a lot of money, right? Or $1 trillion market cap. $21 trillion market cap is possible. It is possible for Bitcoin.
Maybe that's the issue.
It's possible for Bitcoin. It's not possible for Ethereum or any other shitcoin.
Yeah, it's because if you're saying in the situation where fiat dies, then Bitcoin goes to infinity. Because we're measuring.
Yeah, you know what? That is a scenario I'm not even thinking about, but that is true. If fiat dies, then Bitcoin becomes ultimately valuable. But I'm thinking that Bitcoin will always coexist with fiat.
Right, then it won't go to infinity. It'll go to the market caps that are the biggest we've got, or in that scale.
It tends to infinity because you can inflate the fiat and make Bitcoin more valuable in terms of fiat. You know,
so try my.
But in terms of short term, in terms of the next year, I'm probably the most bullish because I'm thinking that if we cross 6,000, 10,000 is very possible. $10,000 per Bitcoin.
I'm thinking,
and most people look at me and think, no, it's 6,000 is too much of a challenge. I think if this market gets effervescent and too excited, they can push to a double top.
I'm thinking I think that can happen. Yeah, for sure. I'm thinking as far as bullish on the next top. I think Tone said somewhere around 40, 50. I've got a valuation page that's up on the charts now, and we've got this thing called top cap now. And top cap's like 35 times the average market cap of Bitcoin. So if you take Bitcoin and you take the running average of it right now, I forget, it's a few $100. You multiply that by 35, it catches all the previous tops for Bitcoin. Very narrow margin. So currently it's sitting at 90,000. It's sitting at somewhere above 40, 50,000. But you can kind of guess the trajectory, and it's it's kind of like trying to catch a ball when the ball's still going upwards in the trajectory. You don't know exactly. It's not very accurate, but around 90,000 is what a best guess is right now.
Okay.
And it's safely over $1 trillion is the next top. And then you think about that next to gold's market
you said $1 trillion market cap.
Market cap, yeah. And you think about gold's market cap of 8 trillion, and then all of fiat is like, I don't know, about 80 trillion, equities 75 trillion, real estate 280 trillion. I think the cycle after that will be hitting on a major macro bucket. So like this is now a major macro asset that large institutes, sovereign wealth funds, family offices, they'd use that as a store of value asset, a big bucket for it. And so like, yeah, it starts to hold into the multi-trillion. On the upper end of it, it could displace some of that real estate, because a lot of people hold real estate because it shelters from inflation. There's $280 trillion in there. So you grab some of that and put it into a digital scarcity. Yeah, we could go to the tens of trillions even. So how's that for bull?
That's bull. That's woo bull.
Woo bull.
Yeah. All right, so let's get to the other question, and I put it in here. Can you guys compare Bitcoin's first 10 years to Amazon and Microsoft's first 10 years? Will these examples give us a glimpse of Bitcoin future? Microsoft, maybe. Amazon, no. And the reason is Amazon had a pretty hype IPO. Amazon didn't slide in under the radar. Amazon's IPO price was $23.50.
Okay.
Okay. So definitely not Amazon, because you can't compare. Amazon was now. Microsoft did kind of come in under the radar. I personally would not be comparing it to an individual company. Again, I would focus more on, where is my chart?
The question was in the first 10 years, though, is the trajectory,
Sure.
right? Yeah.
So again, I wouldn't necessarily compare it to an individual stock, and I would compare it to the NASDAQ itself.
Yeah, because a stock chart's price as a mining company. It unfolds in 5 waves to the upside and then corrects in 3. Whereas a commodity like Bitcoin, which is not a stock, it's not a company, it travels differently.
Every time you move over, we lose signals.
Commodity, it trades like a commodity. It tends to go exponential on every 5th wave. So comparing to a stock is not going to give you the sense of upside and volatility that Bitcoin does near the end of every rallying cycle. That's my assessment of that. Whether it's 10 years or 100 years, it's not going to look the same, and therefore there's little correlation.
Yeah.
So Tony, you got the NASDAQ there,
yeah,
bubbling in its first 10 years.
I got the NASDAQ here, right? So if I compare this to anything, I would compare it to the NASDAQ itself. And the bubble we just had is the empty.coms, the useless ICO bubble.
Yeah.
And we have to wait and see, because when the NASDAQ came back, it did not come back with useless.coms. It came back with legitimate projects. And that's why it took 15 years for the NASDAQ to get to an all-time high. So that's the year 2000. And hope everybody can see that. Quality is choppy. Video cuts out intermittently.
Sound quality choppy.
Sorry guys. Oh, it looks okay now, but yeah, every time, like, if that was the issue, like, it's we have to keep this path open to the satellite. So my view is this: NASDAQ, Bitcoin's first 10 years is more like NASDAQ's first 20 years.
Yeah.
25 years, right? So from the early 80s or the late 70s all the way into the 2000, right? So the first 10 years of Bitcoin is equivalent to the first 30 years of the NASDAQ. So
Sure.
Everything in Bitcoin is happening 3 times sooner. Right now, we're dealing with the fallout of the big crash because it was caused by scammy ICOs. In hindsight, that's what it was.
That's what it was.
And of course, overhype on Bitcoin itself. So until all of the scammy ICOs die, just like the scammy.coms, they weren't even scammy. They were just like stupid, right? Like, you build a .com, you have no business, you have an idea, people trade your stock for $100 a share. Whose fault is that, right?
Yeah.
There were a lot of scams, but there was just a lot of stupidity. And we had a lot of scams, and we also had a lot of stupidity. So now we cannot go back up until the scams go away. And below the peak of the NASDAQ in 2007.
Yeah, that's that's the B wave right there.
Right.
Mid decline rally.
So everything in Bitcoin happens 3 times faster, right? So let's look at the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ topped in the year 2000. It bottomed in late 2002. So it took 2.5, almost 3 years to get to the bottom. So in Bitcoin, it should take a little over a year to get to the bottom. Then it rallied up for 5 years, but was still 50% lower than its original peak. So now let's divide that by 3. So now we're looking at like 2 years of upside, 1.5 years of upside, let's say 1.5 years out of 5. years of upside, and still be at approximately $10,000 a Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
Still halfway to the peak, because the peak was mostly caused by stupidity and bad projects. From there, am I still recording? Yeah. From there was another catastrophe that dropped it down. So let's look at it overall. That was the housing bubble crash, the financial crisis, right?
Yeah.
Then we started a healthy rally back up. We went back to the peak 15 years later in the summer of 2015. Then we pulled back, and then we finally broke out in August of 2016, right? And we peaked in March of 2000. So that is 16 plus years, right? So 16 divided by 3, what do we got? 5 years.
5,
Right, so that's 5 years until we break out above 20K, right? So from the top, so the top came in, let's round, January 2018. So at 5 years, January 23 is when we're going to go up over 20,000. Now from 20, so right here on the NASDAQ, we went from 5,000 at the breakout to 8,000 within 2 years. September 2018, September 2016, 2 years, right? So 2 years divided by 3 gives us about 8-9 months, right? So after we break 20,000, according to this, it should take maybe 7 to 9 months for us to get, an extra 50% or more. It's more than 50% move, right? So we're talking 20,000 to 50,000 in 9 months.
Yeah.
Hence my $50,000 top.
Very good.
Right into the 2024 halving.
Right. Very good. Yeah.
In my chart, right?
Yeah,
I mean, this is exactly what I did.
All of this was figuring into your calculation.
Yeah, of course.
Into your
mentally,
projection,
of
right?
course it was, right?
Yeah.
So here it is, right? Here is that projection of breaking out. Yeah, that was the plan, right?
Yeah.
So right here, breaking out in 2023, 5 years later, 3 times faster than the NASDAQ, right? Going up approximately 50% to near, it's like 5,000 to 8,000 is the same as 20,000 to 50,000, and then a pullback that we just dealt with in the NASDAQ.
Yeah.
Right, that's basically the picture.
And would people say, oh, you just reach your ways, and the
Right.
psychology unfolds
Psychology
the
of
same way.
Psychology of humans has not changed from 20 years ago, but technology has changed, and technology reacts faster to information. So that's what I see. So I would not compare it to any given stock. I would compare it to the internet itself, because the best way to value the internet is to value the tech sector.
Yeah, exactly.
This is also more around the volume of funds that's moving around. The NASDAQ was in trillions by comparison. So Bitcoin being in the tens of billions, it reacts faster.
That too.
Yeah.
Right. Good point by Willy. Additional things that would make Bitcoin react faster is the fact that you need less money to move it. So there you go. So that's the comparison. I've done this before. I'll probably do it again over the years. I know the stream isn't great, but it's the best we got right now. Yeah, people are saying that. Sure, I can wait another 4 years. I have to eat. Well, correct.
So
we agree with you.
What you got to do.
We agree with you, which is why people like you are going to panic, and that's why Bitcoin is going to go lower, right? People like you are going to get frustrated with the environment. People like Novograds, people like Tim Draper are going to get frustrated with the environment. Their investors are going to get frustrated with the environment. They're going to leave. They're going to dump. Price is going to bottom. And then when they don't see a good recovery and it's just dragging its ass back to $10,000, they're going to take their profit at 10,000 in a few years, and then it's going to fall again back to maybe 5 or 4 until eventually it goes up. Or something like the 2007 financial crisis could happen in the crypto space with some kind of problem. Maybe there's a solar flare. Maybe there's Venzen here predicted an earthquake last night. We woke up this morning. He was within 100 miles of the damn earthquake. I'm telling you, you should get into the earthquake prediction business instead of the trading business.
Yeah, and you know how I did it? I used the moon, and yeah. So
we spent like an hour last night talking about, you know, like geology and what the next earthquake's going to be like. And he predicted it's like, hey, there's going to be an earthquake in the next 24 hours. He even said where. Within 100 miles. It was pretty big. It was the biggest one we had last night.
Oh wow, 4.7 magnitude, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's all this price talk. Now that we're surrounded by crypto people, it's the first time that I'm with so many crypto people in the same space. And of course, everyone's coming to Woo and Tone and me and saying, what's price going to do? You know, and some of them are getting calls and messages on their phones from family. Now the price is rising a little bit, saying, shall I buy? Shall I buy? Is this the rally? You know, and
you don't want to tell them no, because what if you're wrong? Right? They're going to blame you.
Yeah, yeah. So we've been discussing analysis, and people have been watching, listening to what we're saying when we do the live streams. And a lot of people seem to be shocked by the idea that it could take 2 years or another year or maybe 3 years before we see a significant rally.
But you also have to be conservative, right? Because it's more responsible that way.
Yeah.
And the thing that I'm getting now is I used to do like 1 hour consulting for 0.1 Bitcoin. And now I have a lot of people calling me up for consulting, private consulting. And I reply to them, I don't really do it anymore. And I'm like, there's nothing you're going to get from me in a private call you don't already get for free.
For free.
Like I'm sorry, there's like no insider information on price that I can give you.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, all those people in the troll box who I often read in Tone's troll box, people saying, oh, Tone was incorrect about that, or was incorrect. And I get the same complaint when I say this or that other price, you know. So as you say, you want to be conservative, because what we're saying in this, all of this, a summary of what we've been saying about price is not that there is a sign that the bottom is in and now we're busy rallying. That's not what we're saying. Our conclusion is, well, it's obviously going up. Where is it going to? We don't yet know, but it's not going lower, right? We haven't got a signal saying sell, and we haven't got a signal saying buy. So whatever we say, you don't act on what you think the market's going to do. You only act when you've got a signal, when you've got a reason to trade, according to what either Tone's method's going to say, or Willy's indicator, or my method.
You gotta come up with your own strategy and your own method, and you trade that method. For example, I've been a huge skeptic on gold. If you've seen my videos,
sure.
And Tyler went long right here, and I said, hey Tyler, I would not go long right here because it's a 9.
I remember you saying
I'm looking for a 1 to 4 candle pullback, and then if it reverses off the moving average, then it's a good buy. Now I've been busy. I haven't really been looking at gold the last couple of days, but where would I have bought gold if I was actively trading and not on airplanes? I would have bought it right there on a green 3, going above a green 2, going above the 9,
bouncing off of that
off the moving average after the 1 to 2 candle pullback. So as much as it pains me to say that it looks like gold's going higher, because I think it's still going sub 1,000, as a trader that has a method, the buy point is in the beginning of this candle.
That's right.
And then you set your stop loss, right? Now, now the trolls are going to say, well, why didn't you tell us that as the scandal was forming? And my answer was, I wasn't looking at it.
Yeah, you were on the ferry, or you were, you know.
Or I was chatting, or I was having a drink with you, or whatever, right? Like, I'm not looking at it. You need to have a method. I explained to everyone, Tyler, I would not buy it right there. I'd wait for the pullback, and then if it bounced back to the upside, I would buy it, 2 or 3 weeks later. So that's exactly where my buy point was. His buy point was earlier based on his methods. And neither one of them is wrong. They're just different.
Yeah, you're going to find that all of the methods tend to make the call at the same time. There's no one method that's absolutely correct. Even if you use a stochastic, just a simple stochastic, you can buy and sell with that, but use something and not just some analyst's opinion. That's it.
Yeah. So let's look at the S&P 500. The market's opened again. So here's the daily chart. And you see the daily chart is flattening out, right? And it's giving you a bunch of dojis on a daily S&P. This is actually good because the probability of getting to a 9 is fairly high here on the daily, because you just have to get above the 5. So as long as it doesn't crash today or tomorrow, the market is open. It is almost noon in New York time, right? I love that 10-minute reversal, but I can't pull up a 10-minute chart at the moment. But nice doji candle right here. You're on a 7 of 9 on a daily. Your weekly is still pretty clean on a 6. I am looking for a resistance point here. So what am I looking from the S&P 500? I would love to time a 9 like this 9 was. I'd love to time a 9 in 2 days. Watch a pullback for a couple of days, and then another, 9 up count on the daily to the upside, and that should get us close to a 9 on the weekly into this resistance. I would love to see this pop to the upside into a 9, pull back to the moving average, and maybe even create like a head and shoulders here, like an inverse head and shoulders.
That moving average crossover is gearing up for something. Everything is moving towards that, right? And its objective is to push above that purple, that magenta line you got there.
Right.
That's obviously
but I don't think it will on the first time. I think this is a pretty formidable resistance. 2,800 is good resistance.
Yeah.
But I want this to be higher. I need this to get to above 28 so that the pullback
into
to 27 is clean.
Yeah.
If it starts to pull back now, it's going to get tricky. Also, I can time the pullback trade off a weekly 9. So that's what I'm looking for. But if the S&P starts to collapse tomorrow, let's put it this way: if the S&P goes above 2,800 and turns down, I'm bullish for year end. If we turn here and start going down, I'm neutral for year end.
Okay.
So it really depends on what happens over the next few weeks.
You're saying that if it goes below that blue line where the moving averages are crossing, that would be kind of
right, and it has a very high probability of going below the support cluster if we top. But if we top in 3 weeks from now at a higher price, now it becomes way more professional traders are going to be buying this cluster than nervous about the cluster.
That's what looks like is happening. Yeah. Somebody was saying before that we're always talking about you should have a method. Don't listen to every analyst and make your decision on that. You should have your own method. And somebody was saying, well, don't say that every time because we're not all new in the channel. Sure. But when we say that, we're not saying it to the guys that are old hands, right? We're not saying it to established fans and listeners. It's for the punks,
Litecoin, I don't really care. I haven't looked at Ethereum chart in a while. We could. I don't know what else to look at. Actually, I want to see the GBTC premium. That's what I'm curious about.
You were mentioning you want to make a decision there. You want to make that public or maybe not?
Well, I'm still in the GBTC long trade because I got out partially and I was going to get out on the rest, but I got busy and then I missed my opportunity to get out. So now I'm kind of holding it because of the premium.
Yeah.
I don't see where my chart is on GBTC. I don't know what happened to it.
It's a line chart. It's not that one.
No. Is this it?
No, that's Bitfinex.
No.
Right. So people are saying in the chat, based on halving history, the bottom is between January and June.
But I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. That you don't have enough history. We've only had 3 halvings.
3 halvings.
And the first one doesn't count. We only had 2 halvings. What am I saying? Not 3.
Yeah, because
the third one's coming up. We only had 2 of them. There's no history there, guys.
There's not enough to make a decision. And Bitcoin has completed a very large wave cycle. So everything from here out changes. It's not going to do what it did since 2009. It's going to trade differently. It's going to move differently because the psychology is more mature, right?
Yeah, what happened to my GBTC chart?
Things in the chat.
Low chart layout. What's going on here? My thing is not responding. Oh well. See, this is the problem, right? Like I consider selling GBTC, but I have no idea what price is trading at because I can't even pull up the chart, right? Now I'm definitely not going to pull up my retirement account on live air. Whoa! Look at the long interest here. Just crashed like a stone.
Yeah. Since where's the peak? What date is the peak?
Yesterday.
Okay, so the price gets to near 4,000, and everyone's like, "I'm out."
Right. Yeah, and this is why we're gonna be pulling back, right? So and then the shorts too.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
so
they're both
everyone's
pulled
waiting.
back.
Everyone's like hot
Everyone just
potato.
put-
No one knows.
Everyone,
Yeah.
everyone pulled their leverage trades off the table.
That's a mistake. You know, not a mistake, but I question that if you reach some psychological resistance, that you then jump out of your trade completely, because the trend is taken that far that you should at least leave half of your position riding. Right? Take some profit, yes, but it's going to go above 4,000. It's very likely. It's going to go above 4,000, very likely.
Yeah, so I'm going to pull up the GBTC chart. I'm actually going to get it to be accurate. I'm going to go to Grayscale. Is it Grayscale that runs GBTC spec?
I think it is, yeah.
Right. So because I want the oh, there it is. Bitcoins per share. I want this number, but I want to get it from their website.
Yeah.
Uber right here in between us, we lost connection immediately.
Oh shit, that guy did.
Did it come back on?
Yeah, it came back on now. Like the moment a person came into the space, boom,
It's
got
right
it.
on the edge. You need a Wi-Fi
Yeah.
booster, right? That's actually a good thing to carry. They're really portable.
I need the shares. I need the Bitcoins per share, right? I need to know how many Bitcoins there are per share. And I need historical data on this, which I don't have,
I'll
right?
move
So
across
this is the issue on still not pulling it up.
There are a lot. The paper money on the one hand, and the debt, the credit bubble that we're in, because just because you got paper money doesn't mean that your credit bubble is unsustainable. Ours is, but if the paper money can survive the collapse of the debt. That's not the issue, right? You got the chart now.
Okay, I think I got it. I think we're back. I think we're finally back here. So here is the Bitcoin chart. So I need to upgrade this number. And hit enter. And then I need to upgrade that. Getting disconnected. I think a lot of people have woken up. A lot more people have connected to the Wi-Fi. Let me try connecting to my
It'll be also the sun's higher in the sky. It sort of jams out the Wi-Fi
I'm
signal.
gonna connect to my hotspot. Unless you
Just gonna
have
get
one
it to
because you're local. Okay, let's try this. We'll try one more time. I'm now connected to my own cell phone out here in the islands. Maybe it'll work. Let's find out. So I also need to change this number.
Sure. Yes. You'll have an input there.
The settings will come up, which seem to.
You say with updating that
Is the premium at 18.5%. I bought GBTC when the premium was 5%.
right.
So I'm up, what, 15% on the trade just from the premium. Now I'm down on the position because I got in at 5 or 5.1. Now I sold a fraction of that position at 5.4.
You
So
can now update the indicator because your chart just reloaded.
So I got to update this number. And I really wish what I wanted to do. I updated the number. Let's update this to stamp. Let's put this chart to stamp. BTC USD.
So you need to specify bit stamp ahead.
It should give me the drop down right there. Shit. Right, so I can just go to stamp. Okay, so that's now stamp. Now I want to make this stamp. I don't know what that is. Again, comparing apples to apples. Done. Okay.
There we go.
So here's the chart, right? So here's what happened, right? If you look at the GBTC premium right here, if I zoom this chart, I close that and I zoom this chart out, right? So the red line is GBTC. This is GBTC at 550, okay? So look at the GBTC premium. This is where the GBTC premium, because I can't see or maybe I could. What's the GBTC premium? It's the gray line, right?
So it's saying at that point 2.
At that point, it's 2, right?
Yeah, 0.1.
So, and right here, the price of GBTC, so I missed it here, which is good because it was low. So I got into GBTC around, not at 6. I got
5.1, I think.
Yeah. So, but it might have been earlier. I got in around 5 or 5.1, right? So it looks like I got in, and the red line is GBTC, the price of GBTC. That's the red line, right? So last time it was around 5.1 was right here. This is what I got in here, right? So look at the GBTC premium. It was around this number, which was.
It looks at 8 or 9.
Looks like it was 8 or 9, right?
Yeah.
I just missed it here. But if I would have gotten here, I would have bought GBTC at a higher price, right?
Yeah.
So I got in here. Now the GBTC premium spiked all the way up to 30%.
I saw that.
And the price of GBTC spiked after a little dip, spiked to 550. Now I sold about 25% of my position.
Good.
because I didn't know how much higher it was going to go.
Yeah.
On the pullback, I was going to sell the rest for a profit because I didn't want to see Bitcoin. This is when Bitcoin was at about 4,000.
Yeah, and we
Still,
were, and,
right?
and it was like 3,000. Here we come.
Right.
Yeah.
And I missed the rest of my exit, and my position ended up going into the red.
Mm.
But when my position ended up going to the red, here's GBTC at under $4, but the GBTC premium stayed up.
Yeah.
You know, so I kind of held in there, and right now GBTC is back to 470. My premium is at 18, and all I need is a little tiny pop, and my position is profitable again, and I'll probably get out on the rest. But if we go into my $5,000 bull trap, I'll be able to exit. Like, this trade was supposed to be profitable fairly quickly, and it was the fact that I am busy
That you couldn't get out.
that I didn't get out.
Yeah, understood. So one of the questions that came in the chat was, somebody said, what do you think about the bear flag forming at current levels?
I don't think about it. I don't really like.
So the person saying, oh, it's gonna go back down, but I think in terms of short-term price, 4,000 is not yet the upper end of this move.
Like, I'm
There's
not
more.
a fan of flags.
I know.
I'm really not. I hate wedges. I mean, I don't understand how many people use wedges.
I don't either. A lot of people talk about them, and I use the terminology to say it's a kind of a pointy price pattern at the end of a move. That's what I use it for, but I don't trade that.
And the person is saying Bitcoin bear flag on a weekly scale. There are no flags on a weekly scale.
No, it doesn't.
They don't
happen.
exist.
No, you don't find it.
It's too big of a scale. If you're going to talk about flags, it better be on like a sub-daily scale. Like, I don't even like flags on a daily scale. Like, they better be hourly or 4 hours.
Yeah, in the Bitcoin chart, you find them at the kind of the 5 minute, 15
Yeah.
They're there for.
Yeah, no. I don't believe in flags. I don't believe in wedges. The reason I don't believe in wedges is I believe in triangles, because in a triangle, there is really no there's no debate over the horizontal line of a triangle. I don't know if people can see me in the camera. The slanted line of a triangle has some discretion. As the triangle forms, you can play with your slanted line.
You have to.
You have to. You can't play with your horizontal line. You can only play with the slanted line. My problem with a wedge is that you have two slanted lines, and you're always going to play with them.
Yeah, so it becomes a guessing game.
Right? It becomes there's always a wedge. It's I don't like wedges.
I get you.
I just don't like them. So right here on the hourly chart, we did our last video. We were looking for a break. Look how this line held.
Yeah.
Remember how I was saying below this line is gonna crash, but it held the line, and held the line very nicely. Popped one more time, reversed on a 9 a few hours ago, and now we're pulling back. So the line is still there, and now so once you go below this line, it's gonna go down and probably go down hard. So my GBTC trade probably will not do very well unless I get lucky with another pop. But I already sold some of my position for a profit. And if Bitcoin falls to a beautiful point lower, I'm happy to double or triple that position.
Yeah.
It's not a small position, but I'm willing to double or triple it.
Very good. I think you might.
But only if it falls to a new entry level.
Okay.
A new entry point, like $2,000.
Yeah. Somebody there just asked about the volume. I mean it with all due respect. You don't have to worry about volume in the Bitcoin chart, because either it's fake or it's there are too many variables that affect volume for you to trade it effectively. Volume is just an interesting subset. You know, like when you go fishing, people ask, what do you think about the water plants? Well, yeah, they're also there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's a good analogy. I love that. Hey, it's actually noon here. We're supposed to go out and actually see a beach and see the island. We didn't even talk about the price of Bitcoin. There's nothing to really say. Everything we said yesterday about the price of Bitcoin applies to today. I am still looking for a significant pullback. We did go and made a new high at 4,000 exactly. This is, it may pop one more time, but I still think in the next 24 to 48 hours, we're going to see a pullback back to 37.50. And then we'll see. We'll reevaluate then.
Okay.
All right. All right, guys. Sorry about the stream quality. It was the best we can do. This is our last day here. Hopefully the connection will be better on Koh Samui, where we will be tomorrow. I don't expect another stream tonight, but you never know. And please check out the conference. Please check out the conference in Malta. I totally forgot. If there's still room for screen share, please check out. And also, sorry, this is what I forgot to say. I am gonna do some dinners as well. So in Vienna, I'm gonna try my very first dinner where I might be the only Bitcoiner at the dinner. Like no Jimmy Song, no Saifedean. I'm gonna give it a try. The price is 0.04 Bitcoin, so that's should be reasonable. Maybe 150 bucks. I'm not sure whatever that translates to because I'm on Bitcoin, right? So so check that out in Vienna. It's a day after the workshop in Vienna. I will be in Delhi as a Friday. Hong Kong, New York is on the schedule. I will be doing a workshop in New York right before consensus. So the weekend before consensus, I will be doing a workshop in New York. Please check that one out. Mexico City, Malta. Speaking of Malta, here it is. Here is Malta. We added an awesome speaker, Pierre Richard. Pierre Richard's coming. Hold on, I have to redo this now. Understand btc.com. btc.com. Damn. That's that Twitter handle. Sorry, guys. Understand ding. There you go. I usually go to it through my site, but there is a standalone domain. There it is. All right. Added Pierre Richard somewhere. I don't know.
Top, there's the fourth. Yeah.
Pierre, there he is.
Yeah.
There's Pierre. Added Pierre. Thanks, Pierre, for coming. And looking forward to it. All right. So this will be a great conference.
Very good. Adam Black number one.
Yep. Check out the tickets. 33 tickets before price rises. Got some VIP tickets. The carnivory dinner will also announce soon. Anyway, see you guys there. It'll be a lot of fun. Later, guys.
Yeah. All right. Pity that was so broken up, man.
I know.
But it's